How's it going, guys? Cody back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, this story, as you can see from the title, is about two paedophile prisoners who were beaten to death by a convicted murderer. Now, this story is actually out of California, right? The story is from like January time, but like I said, I fell out of love with it, and because I wasn't doing videos, that's why I've only just got around to it now. Right, I'm going to read the story. I'll put a link in the description below as well. So this is a story in the Daily Mirror. Headline reads, two paedophile prisoners beaten to death by a convicted murderer. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation reports murderer Jonathan Watson battered child molesters Graham Lewis Conti and David Bobb around the head. Two paedophiles have died from multiple head wounds after being beaten by a convicted murderer in prison, authorities say. Graham DeLewis Conti, 62, died on Sunday, January the 19th, 3 days after David Bobb, 48, who was killed when the pair were attacked at a California prison. Convicted murderer Jonathan Watson, 41, used a weapon to batter the perverted pair at the California Substance Abuse Treatment Facility, or SATF, and state prison in Corcoran last week. A statement from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation reads, DeLewis Conti was serving a life sentence for aggravated sexual assault of a child under the age of 14, having been with the CDRC since June 2001. While Bob was serving life for the same offence, he was received by the CDRCR in October of 2005. The CDR statement said that Bob died on the way to the hospital on Thursday, January the 16th, the day of the attack. Watson arrived at the CDRC in September 2009 to serve a life sentence for first-degree murder and intentionally discharging a firearm causing great bodily harm or death. The CDR statement reads, on 16th of January 2020, correctional officers responded when inmate Jonathan Watson, 41, attacked two inmates in Facility A with a weapon, causing multiple head wounds to both victims. Medical staff continued life-saving measures whilst waiting for the ambulances for both injured inmates. Both were transported to a local medical centre. David Bobb, 48, succumbed to his injuries while en route to hospital. An SATF Investigation Services Unit and the Kings County Coroner's Office are investigating the deaths as homicides. It adds SATF opened in Kings County in 1997 and houses level 2, level 3 and level 6 inmates. The institution specialises in substance abuse treatment, houses more than 5,400 inmates and employs nearly 2,000 people. And that is it. And the guy in question, Mr. Jonathan Watson, looks like a bit of a loose cannon, but he deserves a medal, is there. I'll put it at the start of the video, guys. I don't see what the problem is. I really don't see what the problem is. I don't know how it works in America with segregation of sex offenders. I think there is something called PC, but like I said, this was a substance misuse like wing or prison or whatever it is in Corcoran. I don't see what the problem is. He should be released early on parole, right? He should get parole, right? He's obviously, he's going to end up probably, he could, I don't know if it carries the death sentence in California, but another two murders on top of it. I think murder in the first degree with a weapon or whatever it is, or in the second. He might potentially get a death, might get like the electric chair or the lethal injection. Or he could just get life without the eligibility of parole. And the fact is you've got two depraved fucking sex cases, right? Like I said, 48 and 62 years old, right? And I don't see what the problem is. We can't reoffend that way, can we? Like I said, it's sad. Like I said, just because he's a murderer, this individual, Jonathan Watson, doesn't mean he's a bad person, does it? No. Right? Like I said, we don't know the circumstances in which he murdered. Right? And like I said, I'm not vindicating murder or anything like that. Absolutely not. But a murderer has taken out and killed in one attack 2 paedophiles. It is a bit like Robert Maudsley here in the UK. Now, for those that don't know, Robert Maudsley suffered horrific child sexual abuse when he was young. And I think he hitched a ride. He was hitchhiking. And he's from the Liverpool area. And he was hitchhiking. And this lorry driver was talking about this depraved sexual abuse of children and everything. And Robert Maudsley, or Bob Maudsley, killed him. When he was in prison, he ended up killing, I think 1 or 2 sex offenders within prison. And then allegedly, they call him Hannibal the Cannibal. Google it. Robert Maudsley is in Wakefield prison in the dungeon. He's literally like in a cell like Hannibal Lecter. And he allegedly, the screws walked into one of the cells and there was a spoon sticking out of one of the prisoners' brains. And apparently a chunk of his brain had been missing where Robert Maudsley had eaten a bit. It was a nonce, I believe. And then he killed another prisoner whilst in prison, another sex offender. And he walked into the screws office and said at the next roll count, there will be 1 down. Roll count is where you count how many prisoners are on each wing, and then they ring it into the central hub, and then it's to make sure that all prisoners are accounted for. And he's obviously walked in and said, just to let you know, at the next roll count, there's going to be 1 less because he'd murdered another person. Robert Maudsley should have been rewarded and should be out of prison. He's sat in a fucking he's in a glass cell behind, I think it's like bulletproof glass or something like that, in Wakefield prison. The original paedophile hunter was Robert Maudsley. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Anyway, I'm waffling on. I'll put the link in the comments, in the description below. Put your comments in the comment section below. For those that don't know, I was sexually abused when I was young. It fucked me up massively, caused me many issues. And I despise fucking nonces for that reason. I think everyone, whether they've been abused or not, despise nonces. Things that you don't want to be in prison. Grass, child murderer, paedophile, rapist. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Like, comment, subscribe. Cordial.